If you like this podcast, then consider checking out the other great podcasts at metalsharkstudio.blogspot.com.
Welcome to a Skyrim Addict podcast, where I will discuss my adventures and misadventures through Skyrim. Join me. Add your stories. Add your tales. Let's get into this thing.
Hello, Skyrim Addicts. This is Andrew from the Round Table, and I thought I would check in with our listener challenges that we've been assigning each other in the Facebook group. See, if you join up in the Facebook group, this is the kind of fun that you can have. We've been challenging each other to do 3 or 4 little items around Skyrim just to, give a new edge to the competition, make things a little interesting and difficult when you're out and adventuring. So Colin from the Round Table and Facebook group challenged me to recruit 3 followers for my character Poit. And he was thinking that since Poit is a level 81, that I might have some trouble finding followers that I hadn't used already in the game. Little does Colin know that I didn't use many followers as Poit. She did lots of adventuring on her own. So I did have some trouble, but it wasn't too terrible. The first follower that I found was named Enman, and Enman is a miner from Karthwasten. He is obtained during the quest Heart of Dibella, and that is obtained when you go to the Dibella Temple over in Markarth, that tower right in the middle of the city. When you're there, the priestess tells you that the Sibyl of Dibella has died, and they need to recruit a new one. Well, the fates have told them that Fjoltra is the new Sibyl who has been appointed by Dibella herself. Fjoltra is the daughter of Enman, and she lives in Karthwasten, so you've been told. But when you go to Karthwasten to find Fjoltra, Enman gets really sad and says, "Oh no, our little girl's been kidnapped by the Forsworn." So he needs help in retrieving Fjoltra from the Forsworn. And so I asked Enman, "Would you like to come along to help?" So Enman came with me, and that was one of my followers achieved. Little did Enman know that I had zero intentions of going to help him rescue his daughter. Sorry, Enman, but I just needed you to follow me to please the Grandmaster Colin. So you could go to Broken Tower Redoubt, but that was not in my plans. And just so you know, Enman is a non-essential character, and he only wields a pickaxe, and he dies super easily. So my next follower I wanted to go grab, I just went over to Riverwood to see if I had killed Sven, or to see if a dragon had munched on him yet. But no, Sven was there in the inn there, Sleeping Giant, I believe it's called. And he's a bard, so he was there singing in the inn. And he said, "Oh, Fandal and Camilla have, they got this little thing going on, but I need you to help get rid of Fandal, so please give this fake letter to Camilla, and then I can help get rid of that stupid elf." So I went and gave Sven's letter to Camilla, and told Camilla that this was a letter from Fandal. And she's like, "Oh, I never want to see him ever again, screw that guy." So then that made Sven, I went back to Sven, and that made him a possible follower as well. And since Enman was part of a quest, and Sven was just a normal follower, I had both of them following me around for a while. But then Colin had mentioned, oh, maybe you can find Arendor, that guy from Dawnstar, and he's the guy with, there's a castle up on the hill, and you have to go, I don't know, there's people under some sort of spell from a wizard, and you go find the Skull of Corruption. That whole quest, that guy is Arendor, and I thought that I could get him too. But as it turns out, I went up there, and I had already done that quest. So, Colin, you did foil me once there. But I just happened, when I was up in Dawnstar, found the roving camp of Khajiit. The Khajiit, I almost said bandits. They're not bandits. They're like dealers and traders. So there, Carjo was like, hey, buddy, I need you to help fetch my Moonstone amulet, please. So I said, okay, that sounds like fun. And Juan from the group said, oh, if you go fetch his amulet, he'll become a follower for you. So I was like, oh, awesome. So this will be my third follower. So I went over to the Uttering Hills cave, battled some Somerset shadows, and they're kind of weak, little, almost like bandits, but I don't even think they're as strong as bandits. But Poit has pretty much all their power that she could want, and lots of spells and stuff. So I pulled out not the ice spike, the ice spear, which is even more powerful. And you get some really cool kill cams with the ice spear, and you load it up and you shoot it really far, and you see people get hit, and then they just ragdoll and tumble off into the distance as they get slammed with an ice spear. So you get some cool kill cams there at the Uttering Hills cave. Killed a bunch of Somerset shadows. And then I went back to Dawnstar to find Carjo, but those stupid dealers and traders had already started to wander off. So they were heading over towards Windhelm, and there's some giant camps south of Windhelm a good ways. And I ran across them there, and there was an epic battle between a giant and an ancient dragon, and a saber cat was there, and the mammoths were all attacking, and the Khajiit were all attacking, and I lost Enman. Poor little Enman got stomped by a mammoth, I think, or maybe got blasted by an ancient dragon. But we lost him there. Rest in peace, Enman. But then, after the battle was over, I gave Carjo the Moonstone amulet, and he was, oh, purr, thank you so much. I love my Moonstone amulet. And so I gave that back to him, and everything was great. And so that makes my 3 followers recruited. I said, hey, Carjo, let's go. And then we went back to my house, which is up near Morthal. Well, I forget the name of that house. But the one that's between Solitude and Morthal. So now we're saved, and right now Poit is sitting down to a nice dinner with Yosalda at our home, and Carjo is standing awkwardly in the background, talking to the bard as she strums a song for us. And I would like to extend a challenge here. Hopefully he's still listening to the podcast, and I know he hasn't played any Skyrim in a while, but let's see if we can get Blake to jump back into Skyrim for a little bit. Blake, I would like to challenge you to do 3 different things. I would like for you to, 1, ride a dragon. Number 2, I would like for you to construct the shell bug helmet. And number 3, I would like for you to obtain the champion's cudgel. Or cudgel, however that's pronounced. So those are the 3 things. Ride a dragon, build the shell bug helmet, and grab the champion's cudgel. So Blake, I hope you accept this challenge. And I'm happy that Colin challenged me to do my 3 little things. It was a good little playthrough. And I've actually enjoyed resurrecting Poit again. It's a good time. So if you have any challenges for any other people in the group, go ahead and submit them in the Facebook group or call in with some voice feedback from Michael. And I hope everyone's having a great playthrough with their current characters. If you'd like to sign up for the roundtable to either be on the podcast or just do a little playthrough with us, we are currently on Solstice right now. You can write us at skyrimroundtable@gmail.com. And I hope everyone is enjoying their adventures up on Solstice. And happy Skyrimming!
Hi guys, Colin. Just sending in some feedback on was it a challenge I got set by the combined might of Andrew and won. Sending a little challenge my way. I wasn't sure whether I was going to do it or not, because it was... they said to me, like a few different things. And they just kept on getting more and more. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to get the time to do all of that. So I was like, I'll have a look. But I was off the next day, and I had a look at it. And the thing was is that I was... from all the posts, what I gathered what the challenge was is that I had to find and make a shellbug helmet. I had to find 3, I forgot the name of them, Daedric artifacts, and then I had to go and confront Karstag on Solstheim while wearing the shellbug helmet and having their 3 Daedric artifacts. So I did. So I was like, oh, do I really want to? Because the only problem was is that Frank, the character that was chosen for this challenge, hadn't actually done Dawnguard yet. So I was like, well, it's going to take forever. I opened up my old save file and got Frank out, and he was in the cave with Gunmar, going to kill that bear. You know, when you're going to fetch Gunmar to start Dawnguard. I was like, oh, alright, fair enough. Looks like it's fate, so I'm going to have to do it. So I started off, and so I done the Gunmar thing, and then abusing fast travel like it was a bag of chocolate biscuits, I done all the rest of the quests. Going off, finding Serene Gerard, got her back, came back, picked up Serana, and then travel around. So I got Gunmar, and then Frank's got the house up near Solitude. Not in Solitude, it's the one, the Hearthfire house that you get from Morthal. So he got that house, and he was just across the road, so he went there first. But Frank doesn't wear armour anymore. He's a master of alteration magic, so he just runs around in a pair of belted tunic and like shoes. So he went to the house, but grabbed some soul gems to charge up these Daedric weapons he was going to use. And other than that, he didn't grab anything. So while we were there, we seen Solitude. So I thought, I'm going to need. Oh, that was one of the Daedric artifacts I had to get. Had to be the Wabberjack. Thanks, one. So I ran off to Solitude, spoke to Fork Firebeard, and managed to get in to do the Mind of Madness with Sheogorath, and I managed to die once when I was trying to wake Pelagius up. At one point, when you're trying to wake him up, a bandit chief comes out of nowhere, and I was too close. So I missed him with the staff, with the Wabberjack, so he killed me, so I had to start that again. But that was alright, so I got the Wabberjack, and then from there I went down to Rorikstead, found the Moth Priest, sent the Moth Priest back, went back to Fort Dawnguard, fast travelling of course. Got the Moth Priest, then went off to do the Prophet. So, no, that was that one, Chasing Echoes. Yeah, so after that, we end up going to find her mother, so we have to go to the Soul Cairn first. So we go and enter the Soul Cairn, and somehow I just ran from point to point, going directly there, directly back, but I still managed to get Arvak's head. Now usually I end up searching around for that thing for poxy ages, but where you're running from the closest keeper, you defeat him, and then you run straight directly for the next point on your map. You just go right and you run straight across where Arvak's sitting. So they must have worked it out that if you wander around aimlessly, you're never going to find it. If you're looking for it, you're not going to find it. If you're just running from point to point, you will eventually come across it running in one of the directions. So that was handy. So we do that. We defeat Durnavir. We run back. Oh, Frank is level 51, and his specialities are Conjuration Magic, which is 100 in, and he's got the Dremora Lord spell, and he's got Summon 2, so he keeps 2 Dremora Lords up most of the time, and he's got 100 in Alteration and 100 in Two-Handed, specialising in the Battle Axe. I used to always use the Conjured Battle Axe, but for some reason I'm getting a bug where he summons it and then it disappears, and he's like, it's standing there like he's holding the Battle Axe, but it's not there and he can't swing it. So I was ended up using a Dwarven Battle Axe of Paralyze. But yeah, nothing could really, I was only using the top tier, the 100 things, so the Conjuration, the Alteration to, like the Dragonhide spell, so when everybody hit him, they wouldn't hurt him. So it was just running through, pretty much anything was being killed straight away. It wasn't any much of a problem with him. So after the Soul Cairn, we come out of there, and then we had Seeking Disclosure, so you have to go back. Let's see. Yes, so then you go off to do the Unseen Visions, where you go to the Ancestor Moths, and then you read all the scrolls, and that tells you where Darkfall Cave is where you have to go to Darkfall Cave. People will go through the Dawnguard quest to be able to get into the Forgotten Vale, so you can find the shell bugs to be able to mine them to get the shell bug material to be able to make the shell bug helmet. So, get there, read the scrolls, fast travel as close as we can to Darkfall. No, actually, I actually had already discovered Darkfall Cave in my wanderings. So, fast travel straight there, went inside, started going through Darkfall Cave, came out the other side, finally got to Forgotten Vale Cave, which doesn't show up on the map, because nothing shows up on the map in Forgotten Vale, and not even those bloody way shrines, so you got to hunt around for them. But you get there, and then once you kill everything, if you go real quiet, you can hear like this trilling sound, and you have to go up in a little walkway on the left hand side, pull a lever, and that opens up a back room, and you go in there, and then you have to mine a shell bug with a pickaxe, which I didn't have. No, I did not have a pickaxe, and there is no pickaxes anywhere in Forgotten Vale. So then you can't fast travel out either. I think you can't anyway. I didn't try because I was so annoyed. So I had to go through the whole Forgotten Vale, go through defeating all the Falmer, getting all the way out to the other end, defeating Gelabor's brother, the Arch-Curate, killing him, get out, get the bow, get out of Darkfall Cave, run to where the orcs were, that had a little settlement nearby, run up, go inside their mine, go into Sneak Boat, steal one of their pickaxes, and then run all the way back, go into Darkfall Cave, go down to the Way Shrine, get into the Way Shrine, go to the Way Shrine that was at the temple, because you can't get everywhere, go to the temple one, then go to the one that was near the 2 different caves, which had the shell bug, to go in and mine them, and then come back, finally get out of Darkfall Cave, fast travel to the house, go to the smithing station to make my shell bug helmet. So that was fun. After that, then I went and fast travelled to Markarth, where I'd done the House of Horrors. So doing the House of Horrors, you have to go and find Logrowth. I find Logrowth, and he's in, was it Hag's End or something like that? And so I've already discovered it, already cleared it. I'm nice, great, fast travel there, and I get there and I'm surrounded by Forsworn. So I release him and have to kill all the Forsworn, which took a bit of time. Scumbags. Then release Logrove, go back to Markarth, fast travel of course, get there, get inside, kill him, which takes absolutely forever. Must have had to hit him with the mace like 50 times. Each time, because you've got to kill him twice. And then you get the mace. So I gave the mace to what's her name, Serana, because she was still with me. I didn't see the point in sending her on her way because it was just before we go and face what's his face, her dad. And plus, she got down and dirty with Moloch Bal anyway, so she might as well have his mace. And then after that, I had in my thingy, was it my journal, drinking competition with Sam Gawain. So I fast travelled to where he was, went in there, and then done a night to remember. But I just used speech the whole way through, so I didn't do any of the quests. I just went there, intimidated them, and got them to tell me where I needed to go to be able to get to Morvanskar, meet Sam, and then get Sangrian Rose. So once that was done, then I needed to go and find Karstag. But I hadn't started Dragonborn yet either, so I had to go to Windhelm, go to the captain, and convince him. So then we finally got all the way to Solstheim, and then Serana wasn't with me. I was like, oh crap, don't tell me Serana can't come to fucking Solstheim. She's got the bloody mace of Morlug Bal. So I had to fast travel all the way back. I get there, she's standing at the docks. Alright, I said, right, let's try this one more time. And then instead of using the ship, I used the arrow and then fast travel. I get there, she's there waiting. Thank God. So then we have to run all over the place to try and find the cave, because I've forgotten where it was. I finally find the cave, but you have to go past like werebears and everything. It's just a nightmare. I just summoned 2 Dremora Lords and then kept on running. Yeah, there you go, werebears, enjoy that. And I just carried on going. Finally got to the cave, got to where Karstag Ruins was, went in, killed the little Reiklings, and then stopped there. Because I didn't want to do the Karstag fight. One, because I don't think Frank would have been able to take him anyway. Not with what he uses. But also, we've got Karstag coming up on the round table. And I didn't want to sort of do this fight and have it a big epic fight, and then a month later now I'm doing the Karstag fight. So again, with Gonvar, so I wanted to leave it and save it. So technically I failed the quest because I didn't face off against Karstag, but I didn't really want to waste it. So maybe after I do the Gonvar fight with Karstag, then I'll do this one, and then I can get it off my quest journal as it was. All right. So that was me. That was my little quest that I done. I'd like to say thanks to Juan and Andrew for setting me the quest. It was a lot of fun. Some of it was a little frustrating when I kept on dying in places, or especially when I didn't find that pickaxe. I was well pissed. But it was a lot of fun going through it, and I really enjoyed it. And I hope somebody sets me another one like that. Thank you very much, guys. And I hope this one didn't go on too long. Cheers. Bye. Hi guys, this is Colin again. I'm just going to do a continued reading of my notes on my Gonvar playthrough. So I'm just going to backtrack a little as per usual. And we left off in the Bannered Mare. Let's see. Songs are sung, mead is drank, and fights are fought. Even the stranger gets in the spirit of things. Drinking competition, you say? Heh, stranger, you've got yourself a bet. Oh, my aching head. I don't know what was in that drink Sam gave me, but I'm pretty sure it's what wiped out the dwarves. Oh. I get to my feet to the excruciating sounds of some priestess moaning about the mess I've made of the Temple of the Bella. She must be drunker than I am. It's Kinnereth, you idiot. There's no Temple of the Bella in Whiterun. Ugh. Bollocks. When I finally get my head on straight, I have a look around. Luckily I do have Aethys with me, Kind of. His eyes are even redder than usual. And he's missing his helmet. And his boots. I was about to ask, but it was obvious he knew less than me. And then suddenly, my head exploded. Thanks to Miko. And the loudest bark in the history of all dogs. On the plus side, we do find Aethys' helmet. It actually suits the little mutt. Markarth, so... I must have been drunk. I'll find out from the priestess where I might find Sam. I hope this staff is as powerful as he claimed. I don't fancy beating him to death with just some common old staff of frostbite. I head straight for the gate. I'm out of this hole. On the spot a filthy Breton about to stab some woman in the back. Luckily, I get to him first and stick him with the razor. He drops instantly, muttering something about the Forsworn. That was random. But none of my business anyway. That was, until some jumped up little guard started telling me to get lost. Do you have any idea who you're talking to, little man? I am Dragonborn. I have faced and defeated Alduin the World Eater in Simgon combat. Twice. And have stood in the Hall of Valor. By rights you should be on bended knee thanking me for your existence. He just walks on by. As does everybody else. What does a Dovahkiin have to do to get a little undying adulation around here? I change my mind and head back up to the keep to let the Jarl thank me for giving him his title, by giving me one in return. I'll buy some random house, sight unseen, and just pay the steward to fix it up. Apparently I get a house call too, but I can't be bothered to see what he looks like. The Jarl makes me thane, and in less than a minute starts talking about the Forsworn problem and the Civil War. Not so much as a thank you, Dragonborn, or here's a sack of gold, Dovahkiin. Or marry my daughter, Gunvar. Nothing. And it hits me. Bastards. Unless it benefits them directly, they couldn't care the less about what I've accomplished. They'd turn on me in a flash if it lined their pockets with a little gold. Mind you, sounds familiar. And here I thought I was unique. Okay, Skyrim. If this is what it's going to take to win you over, okay. You're worth it. So to win you over, I'll not only have to gain the support of the nobles, but the ordinary Nord as well. Excuse me. The nobles should be easy enough. Most of them are either thieves or murderers, or both. And the answer to that little question lies in one sleazy little package. Riften. The common man. Now that could be a problem. I'd need to be seen as a hero. A champion. A lover of dogs and defender of bunnies. Yeah, 1 out of 4 ain't bad. But it also means I can't be seen as a thief or a murderer. Yeah, means no more executing random Imperials out on the road. I'll need a disguise too. Mask, probably. And then I'll probably need to change how I act when I'm wearing the mask. You know, Nakareen. That mask I picked up after going after Alduin. Congratulations, Nakareen. You're about to become the second most famous man in Skyrim. A little switch to destruction magic, and roads should do the trick. Probably Fire Mage, with all these vampires running around the province. And with any luck, any crimes I'm seen committing will be attributed to him. The last thing I need now is another stint in prison. So, right, as my first act of unselfish heroism will be to fix the forsworn problem here in the city. If I didn't know better, I'd think people were laughing right about now. After running all over this damn city, I end up right where I didn't want to be. Back in prison. But I'm about to feel a whole lot better about being locked up and sitting in a mine. I find out the orc has the key to Madnak. And he's the key to finishing all this crap. So I head below and unleash mayhem on all of them. And then I call on the beast. I tear through all the rest of them, taking my fill. But I have to revert back to be able to get the key. Once I do, I head in, go for Madnak. He's sitting down, so I throw the snowman at him. And then, once he's up, I bury the business end of a pickaxe in each eye. Mud, blood, filth. I head outside, and Silverblood is waiting. I take my stuff, and his ring. Then I take his life. I grab the ring, and go for the keep, and throw it at his brother's feet. Jarl indeed. This is the price everybody pays for betraying the Dragonborn. I leave Markarth and head to Rorikstead to try and get a lead on Sam. After Aethys slapped a farmer around a bit, we'll finally get some new information, and we're all glad to hear the name Isolde. Isolde and Whiterun. Home. But it's not good news. What do you mean fiancé, Isolde? Wait, what do you mean he? I'll tell Aethys to get lost. The laughter wasn't helping, so I head inside Bree's home. Lucia is happy to see me, and can't wait to tell me of all the things her and Omlug have been up to since he arrived. So that's his name. I go upstairs and Omlug is with Lydia, who has a smirk on her face that a warhammer wouldn't shift. When he sees me, he greets me with, "Hello, my love." And I greet him with the razor, and he quickly changes his tune. I'm sorry, I just had to get out of Markarth, and the mine, and the Silverbloods more. He says he sees his chance when I'm drunk off my ass, and he took it. He says he'll do anything. Please, just don't send me back. Or kill me. It's lucky he added that last part. I shake my head and put the razor away. You can't help but admire the sheer audacity of it. Alright, fair enough, half-breed. I'll let you live, for now. But one full step, and your dog food, got it? Now, get out of my room. After the week I've had, I need some sleep. You can have Lydia's bed, seeing as I'll be telling everyone you're her new husband. Smirk removed, warhammer unblemished. I get up the next morning, and Omlug says something about opening a shop or a stall. Whatever, I wasn't really listening. Welcome to married life, Omlug. By the way, I'm leaving and I have no idea when I'll be back. Lydia, if he hurts the kid, kill him. I get to Jorvaska, and after a long discussion on what is, and more specifically what isn't, viable conversation topics, I tell Aethys to follow, and we head out to conquer Skyrim, one good deed at a time. But first, kill Sam Gorvain. On the road to Morvanskar, we noticed that Voltime Towers has been taken over by a new group of bandits. I'll pull my weapons, and Aethys pulls out that stupid bow again, and I can't let it go. Enough with the stupid bow already. Just pull out your axe and bash him. All I get in return is a speech about how the bow is an essential weapon in any warrior's arsenal. Fair enough. But then he punctuated it with, if you could use one. I'm sorry? Are you claiming that I can't use a bow? I can use a bow. Not only that, I do a lot more damage with it than you ever could, especially seeing as you insist on using that ridiculously useless hunter's bow. Oh, your father's. Well, in any case, you're talking out of your hairless grey ass, and I'll prove it. I just happen to know a certain spell to let me summon a bow, and I'd wager I could outshoot you inside of a month. By this time, the bandit had gotten tired of listening to us bicker, and she attacked. Aethys stuck with the axe, while I stuck with the bow. I'm not the greatest of shot yet, but nobody's going to be using that water skin anytime soon. We finish up here and head to Morvanskar in search of Sam. But we come across an assortment of mages blocking the path. They don't pose much of a threat, so I stick with the bow most of the way through, until their archmage hits me with a thunderbolt that nearly knocks me clear out of my boots. Luckily, I have a paralyze potion with me, and that gives me enough time to run up and club him to death while he's lying on the floor. Not very sporting, but it works. I strip him of his staffs, and then I look around, and I see it. And I know exactly what it is. A portal to oblivion. I forget the bow completely, and pull my real weapons, and we head in. Not exactly what I pictured. More of an alchemist's wet dream. We come to the end of a path, and I see Sam. I don't know who he is, but I do know what he is, so I play along. I might be arrogant, but I'm not stupid. Oh, Christ. Sanguine. Fun? You put me through all that just for fun. You know I married a guy, right? He's not even a Nord! Luckily, before I totally lose my cool, he teleports me away, back to the Bannered Mare, with the staff. It looks pretty good. But what does it do? Whoops. Sorry, Holder. It's good to be home, though. Gives me time to think on where to start with my Kill 'em with Kindness campaign. It also gives me a chance to sort out all the clutter I've accumulated. And it's in amongst all that crap that I find my answer to how to start. The letter I received from the Jarl of Falkreath. An imperial toady, but an offer of thainship is not to be sniffed at. And that's where I'll start. But I think I'll go there accompanied by somebody who will garner a little greater respect, other than Aethys. A pretty face that will sell my noble champion routine. Farkas and I arrive at the Longhouse, and we're both astounded by the arrogance and sheer sense of entitlement of the miserable little pissant sitting in the throne before us. But such is the state of politics in Skyrim. Looks like I'll have an easier time of advancing my station than I thought, if these are the attributes that are rewarded with the title of Jarl. Mind you, it certainly puts Balgruuf higher up in my estimation, but not by much. On the way out of town to take care of Sidgeir's bandits, we help a few of the locals out. A delivery here, a little help harvesting there. I'm a little ticked at having to help the Altmer priest, but he probably has a lot of sway with the Jarl, so I'll bite my tongue. While on the road, it also gave me the chance to tell Farkas the real reason why I asked him to accompany me. For the longest time I have struggled with who should lead the Blades in my stead, to be the face of the Blades and represent them with honour. I had thought of Aethys, but I need his loyalty to be to just me, and not the Blades. He's my right-hand man, as they say, my consigliere, as the Imperials call it. Sounds kind of fruity to me, but fair enough. Farkas accepts my offer, and acts as if I'm doing him the favour, and not the other way around. After we down the bandits, we head up to Carspire, and after dealing with all the Forsworn outside again, we talk to Delphine, and she gives him the oath. When he's all sworn in, I head off on my own, let him get used to his new surroundings. On the long walk back to Falkreath, I pick up the priest's journal and have a long think about who I could induct next. I'll need a mage, of course. I think of some of the students at the college, but they're just kids and don't need that kind of responsibility yet. I'm also going to need someone ruthless and underhanded, just on the cusp of pure evil. But Aethys already has that covered, apparently. His ex has been hanging around the drunken huntsman, selling her skills to the highest bidder. I suppose a few missions to test her mettle and her limits. If she proves herself as good as Aethys thinks she is, I'll have Delphine swear her in and pass on all she knows of infiltration. But the mage... Nobody springs to mind, and that's a worry. Esbern isn't what he was. Mind you, living for 1,000 years can do that to a person. In Falkreath, Sidgeir makes me thane and awards me a house call, a red guard. She's very eager to please, but I have no use for her right now. I also buy a choice parcel of land. I've never thought of myself as the manual labour type. I think I mined an ore once. But you never know. The urge to build a house might strike. The stroll back home is nice. I go through Riverwood and chat to one or two of the familiar faces outside. Then venture over the hill where the smell of the meadery fills the air. I even pacify the wolf that made me jump out of my skin on the way down. I stop and talk to the Khajiit outside and have a look at their wares. I managed to find a nice grey dress for Lucia. And on the walk up to the gate, the guards give me a little grief, asking if the dress is for me. I laugh and say no, Lydia, and they laugh even harder. I go on through the gate, and I can't stop the vampire from burying his war axe deep into my chest. And I'm done. It's over. I'm sorry, Skyrim. I'm sorry, Lucia. Alright, guys, I'm going to pause it there so the file doesn't get too big when I'm emailing it. Cheers, guys. Bye. Hi, guys. It's Colin again, and I'm back to continue with my reading of Gunvar's playthrough. I'm done. It's over. I'm sorry, Skyrim. I'm sorry, Lucia. When I come to, the Redguard face It's not the one I was expecting to see in the afterlife. And then the pain hits me, and I realise I'm still alive, but not sure how at first. But I quickly come to realise and come to the conclusion that I owe my life to the two Alakir warriors encamped at the front gate in search of Sadia. I almost feel guilty at killing their leader, Kevin, that's it, Kevin. This is getting beyond the joke. They're getting bolder by the day, or should I say night, to attack Whiterun. Either he was a suicidal vampire, or he had no fear of the gods, the companions, or me, which simply will not do. Looks like I have a third reason to head to Riften, or maybe even a fourth. I wonder what Serana would make of the blades. I prepare for my stint in Riften and grab the Nakarine mask and a set of master robes of destruction that I acquired on my travels. Only fitting considering that what they're gonna be used for. On the way out, I head into the Huntsman to speak to Janessa. Aethys says she's good to go, but I can't give her my okay without seeing what she can do. And she said she can't give a shit without 500 gold on her purse. Fair enough. I like her already. The run through the rift was pretty uneventful until we came across an orc stronghold being attacked. What a show. A giant was causing all sorts of havoc, and the orcs had no clue as to how to deal with him. Sloppy leadership by the looks of it. At one point, he hit one of them so hard that he backflips into a tree and landed on his head. I was laughing so hard that I didn't see that the giant had already finished off the rest and set his sights on me. Luckily, Janessa forgot to buy a sense of humour with the 500 gold I gave her, and she intercepted him before he got to me. I conjured the bow and actually managed to hit him more times than I missed. This time. I think. The fact that I used the paralyzed potion again and he was on the ground for most of it had nothing to do with it. After he's dead, one of the orcs starts pleading for help. I'm not opposed to the idea, but then she mentions Malakath. And I've had my fill of Daedric princes for now. Deal with your own curses, lady. At least, I think it was a lady. Just outside of Riften, I switch into the robes and the mask. From what I remember, Brynjolf was waiting on some money from a few deadbeats around town. So I decide to make a good impression for my long-awaited return and collect before heading into the flagon. These merchants are easy to shake down. After dealing with Belethor for so long, I've got it down to an art. I don't even have to say a word by the time I get to the bunkhouse. Nakarine's reputation has preceded him. In the flagon, I'm greeted by Brynjolf, and he's more than pleased, and he bids me to follow him into the cistern to be inducted into the guild proper by its leader, Mercer. He's wearing a little tight, and from the tone he uses when talking to me, I can tell Brynjolf hasn't shared my actual identity with him. Or anyone else, it seems like. What do you know? Someone I can trust in the Thieves Guild. I just have to make sure I never get caught doing one of their jobs, which shouldn't be too difficult for a master of illusion. With any luck, I'll have half of them handing over their stuff of their own free will. Or my will, should I say. Mercer sees what he's got straight away and gives me their toughest job. Quite a compliment from the best thief in the guild. I think I'm going to like it here. I talk to Vex and Delvin,
the lieutenants in the flagon and get some info and some extra jobs. Making them some money will go a long way in solidifying my position here. They also give me a set of armour, but it smells worse than Aethys' feet, so I give it to Janessa. She's got to be used to it by now. I ask about the place to hang my hat, but no such luck. I guess Gomvar is going to have to play nice with the Jarl. See if he can acquire some property that will make working around Riften a little more viable. Plus, with a few choice favours here and there, I bet it wouldn't be too long before a thainship was on the cards. Especially for the Dragonborn. It's getting pretty late, and I have another job I need to get to. I'll leave Janessa and the Bee and Barb while I pretend to go upstairs to take sleep. Once there, I muffle up and cast invisibility and make my way to the orphanage. Grelod is everything Aventus said she was and more. I wait till the kids are asleep and Grelod is in her room. They don't need to see this. I'll make it quick, but not quick enough, as it turns out. The kids must have heard something, as they're up and dancing around singing that the wicked witch is dead. None of them see me, and I'm back in the bar before anyone realizes I was gone. I decide to do the Golden Glow job the next day. Of all the times to expect an infiltrator, mid-afternoon is probably the last. And these mercenaries are easy to sneak up on, compared to sneaking up on forsworn dragon priests and vampires. This is child's play. I spot the beehives and decide to do them on the way out. Inside, though, I take a wrong turn and end up in the Mark's bedroom. Luckily, he doesn't see me or Janessa. She has her blades out ready just in case, though. I even get cocky and steal a honeybee statue off his bedside cabinet. If that doesn't get me some respect, it should at least get me some coin. We finally get to the safe, clear it out without a single person being any the wiser. Once out, I burn the hives and we make our escape. But instead of heading back to Riften, we make the run to Windhelm to take care of the burglary and numbers jobs from Delvin and Vex, and to give Aventus the good news. The guild jobs are a quick in and out, so I get those out of the way so I can enjoy giving the news to the kid. The plate he gives me wouldn't cover the cost of my new haircut, but that's not the reason I did it. It was a means to an end. But the way his eyes lit up when I told him she was dead made the whole thing worth it, even if it doesn't pan out. Yeah, kids. Before the night is out, I'm back in Riften to claim my gold. And apparently, I caught somebody's eye. A very important somebody. Maven Blackbriar. I know that name. We've met before. This is the very reason I'm here. It's just a pity I can't tell her who I really am. In time, maybe. With a few more friends like her, I'll have most of Skyrim in my pocket. I leave Janessa outside and take the meeting alone. I find out that the job is in Whiterun. I knew it would happen sooner or later. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. It is one of the richest cities around. I'll just have to be extra careful while working near home. And I'll have to take Janessa to Skyhaven now. If she sees with Nakareen and Gonvar, people might suspect something. And not the happy horizontal kind of something. Delphine wasn't too sure, but she trusts that I know what I'm doing. The White Run job is just your standard sabotaging of the competition. Apart from the man that would be king of the skeevers downstairs. That, and the fact that I'm being led somewhere by someone who's not as clever as they think they are. A perfectly executed plan with one glaring oversight. There's no way that could be that sloppy. But I'll play along for now. I want to show off my complete lack of surprise. I spend some time at home working on my smithing. I make a few different versions of the Nordic armour for Aethys, and then I trade a few of them in for some of that malachite ingot, for those malachite ingots, and try my hand at making those weapons. They're not bad at all, but it does give me a few ideas about converting the dragon bones I've been collecting into weapons. But I'll need a bit more practice, and I'm all out of pelts. I guess I'll just have to hunt every bear I come across on my travels. What a shame. As I'm finishing up, a courier drops off a letter for me. He seems a bit nervous, and I don't think it's me who's making him so. I open the letter, and it simply reads, "We know," under a handprint. Who in oblivion is the Black Hand? After I was reliably informed by almost everybody in the house, bar the dog, that the letter was in fact from the Dark Brotherhood, the grin returns as I see the plan coming together. But also in a bid to try and excuse me, in a bid to sell the "I was only testing you" line I tried to pull. I'm pretty sure Miko bought it. This is quicker than I expected, though. I still have preparations to make. I grab my travelling gear and give the kid her usual kiss goodbye, Lydia her usual instructions, and Omlug his usual threats of death if anybody finds out who he is. I grab Aethys and head to Riften. Maven is happy enough at the outcome of the Meadery job, but she knows nothing of the symbol or the name in the letter. But when I get to Mercer, the pieces start coming together. He doesn't share all he knows, but I'm still new, so I let it go. I know exactly what's going on anyway, but I don't feel like sharing either. When he mentions solitude, it brings the vampire to mind, so I head to Fort Dawnguard. After a few choice questions, Serana has no interest in the blades, and is still a little weary of having Aethys tagging along for the ride, so I leave her behind and search for the Moth Priest myself. I'm not sure why I'd need a priest to read the scroll, but if it gets me out of a headache the size of one of Lydia's biceps, I'm all for it. I use the opportunity while in Gonvar, the nice guy mode, to introduce myself to the Jarl of Riften and the locals. The merchants are nice enough for the most part. I also introduce myself to a young lady that would give Uthgerd a run for the toughest woman I've ever met. But it's not that impresses me the most. It's her determination and her resolve. She gets me thinking about Lucia and what kind of woman she'll grow up to be. I'm lucky to have Lydia in the house. If she grows up to be anything like her, or Mjol, I'd be a very happy man. I tell Mjol that Grimsever is as good as got. Aethys loves Dwemer ruins, don't you, Aethys? Mjol must have picked up a few Dunmer phrases in her travels, as he can't help but laugh at the flurry of abuse that Aethys utters under his breath. I could have talked to Mjol all day, and right now I wish I did. As my next two encounters, I get scammed out of a potion by an Argonian, and the other one tries to pass her crazy box onto me. But luckily, I have just the man for Dwarven Ruins with me today. After a full day of smoozing, I decide that ending the skooma trade is my best chance at making a big enough impression. No one of any import is seeing any money from it, and it'll be a quick hack and slash job. Turns out the shopping list that is the bigger job. 10 fire salts, 2 flawless sapphires, a mammoth tusk, gold ore, 3 flawless amethysts, a whole heap of nirnroot, death bloods, and nightshade. I also added Daedra heart and troll fat to the bottom of that list. Might as well see if Malakath will play nice and give me something shiny. I check in with the Jarl and let her know, just to make sure I'm not stepping on her toes. She gives me the go-ahead, and I hear a very frustrated "finally" from behind me. After a day like today, Aethys just needs to kill something. And kill something we did. After finishing with the guys in town, we head north to take out the leader and his friends. And seeing as we were killing everybody anyway, I let loose with the firebolts, which worked out well as we had them bottlenecked coming up from some wolf pits. It's like they were queuing up to die. We pick up a few choice items worth selling, so afterwards I head to Windhelm to sell it off, and to take care of some jobs around town. When I'm making the rounds with the merchants, I found out there's been a murder, and a pretty brutal one at that. Excellent. A perfect opportunity for me to show how compassionate I am. Although I should stop smiling while the guard is looking at me. Wolfish grin. That's pretty funny. But right now, it's that aspect that's going to put this case to rest. Instead of roaming all over the city and ending up in jail myself again, I just followed the blood trail that's screaming out at me. It leads to a house nearby. Locked. But I'll doubt they'll mind. The place reeks of death. But where else would I be on a freedest night? It doesn't take long to root out some evidence. The necklace is a clue, but the diary in the Delphine-esque room seals the mage's fate. And I manage to refrain from gloating when the steward hauls the freak away. I do my best Aethys impression and stand there, silently judging. Him. It's getting pretty late, but it dawns on me that the ship that brought all of the Aethys' brothers and sisters over for a game of Swap the Firebolt ports here, and I feel like having a little chat with the captain. It's then that Aethys feels the need to advise me that planning on attacking a league of Dunmer cultists with flames wasn't the best of ideas. Maybe not, but there's something hilariously satisfying about sending a dark elf to whatever Daedric prince he's worshipping that week, and having him to admit that he died at the hands of a Nord, slinging firebolts at him. I would have sounded more impressive if I hadn't screamed like a little girl at the end of that, which is pretty ironic considering what I see when I turn around and glimpse the cause of my distress. Flowers? Flowers, it's the middle of the night. Where are your parents? Oh, God. This damn city. The daughter of a Stormcloak soldier just left to fend for herself. Even I can't defend the Nords of this hole. Her name is Sophie. I tell her of my home in Whiterun, and of Lucia, Lydia, Miko, and Lydia's husband, Omlog. She seems to like the sound of it, but I can't help but notice the nervous glances she makes towards Athos. I assure her that she would be a welcome addition to our home. She needs some time to get her stuff together and say her goodbyes, and that she'll see me back at Whiterun. I make sure she has enough gold to get the carriage, and I buy all the baskets she's been acquiring from around the city. But from the price she charged me, she could probably buy her own horse. Good girl. Right, guys, I'm going to leave it there so the file size is nice and soft and small. I can get there. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Metal Shark Studio.